In the brutal medieval world of Crusader Kings 2, you select and play as a dynasty that spans the test of time and the trials of war, treason, and plague. With a huge selection of patricians, pagans, and kings to choose from, it can be overwhelming at first to find an interesting character to begin your dynasty. My name is AlzaboHD, and in the following video, join me as we explore 10 of the most fascinating characters to play in the Dark Ages. When you're ready, grab your sister wife and castrate your uncle. It's time to get started with number 10. Starting off our list of most interesting characters is Theodoric of Merovingian, better known as the last Merovingian. Unfortunately for Theo, his father, the former Frankish king Childeric III, was deposed by the ruling Carolinginians. Consequently, Theodoric has been forced to shave his hair short and live a life of asceticism as a monk in an abbey of Normandy ever since. Starting off in 769 as a landless monk in the court of the Count of Rouen, even playing as this deposed son of the former French dynasty is a challenge in and of itself. You are not able to grant him a landed title at first, given that he is a monk, so you must first revoke ownership of one of your vassal cities and give Theodoric a city to remove his monk trait. Afterwards, you can imprison him so he doesn't run from your court, revoke his ownership of the city so he is no longer mayor, release him from prison, and immediately grant him a landed county of your choice. With all of these steps in place, you can finally select him by reloading your save and clicking his portrait, consequently preventing you from doing this in Iron Man saves. With strong claims on the Kingdom of France, Theodoric is a perfect choice for killing Carling scum and avenging his father's death by refounding the Merovingian dynasty. In addition to his claims, Theodoric also possesses a unique bloodline that bestows increased French opinion on him and all of his descendants. Can you rise from your position as the Count of Rouen to the King of West Francia with the support of powerful allies? Or will you leave Theodoric to die hairless in an abbey? Good luck, you're going to need it. Inbreeding his way onto number 9 on our list of most interesting characters is Kanak of House Khodza, the Count of Bukhara, and the 867 starting date. A staunch Zoroastrian ruled by Samanid Sunni overlords, Kanak's position is tenuous but makes for a challenging and fun campaign. At the start of the game, the King of the Samanids will likely appoint you as Chancellor due to your high diplomatic skills. With this position in court, you can actually request your liege to allow you to hand out his titles, the Absolute Moron, which you can promptly give to yourself to secure several counties and even the Duchy of Samarkand. From this position, you can consolidate your power by conquering, murdering, and marrying throughout the empire, spreading the fires of Zarathustra from within before turning on your Muslim overlords. And the fires of Zarathustra are not the only thing that burns in this campaign, as you are rewarded by engaging in incest and keeping it in the family. In order to keep your bloodlines pure and to please your Zoroastrian vassals, you have the ability to engage in divine marriage, which allows you to marry your sister, mother, grandmother, or daughter. In this particular campaign, the court of Count Khodza became more and more incestuous and depraved, with my eldest grandchild marrying their mother, who was my daughter, and my youngest grandchild marrying his sister wife. Also, the royal concubine, Nana, was a lover and cousin of 3 of my rulers, and was passed around court like a refurbished fleshlight. Surprisingly, nobody in the family has gotten the inbred trait yet. If you manage to declare independence and overthrow the infidels from Iran, you can reform the nation of Persia and declare yourself the Shayoshant, netting you the one who brings benefit achievement. And with your family tree looking more like a human centipede than a tree, you can also obtain the Keeping It in the Family achievement. You might not like it, but this is peak Persia. If your idea of an interesting campaign is playing quite possibly the biggest douchebag known to Christendom, Renald de Chatillon at number 8 on our list of most interesting characters is sure to appeal to you. Starting as the independent Duke of Antioch in 1153, Renald's position at the frontier of the Crusader states, the Abbasid Caliphate, and the Hashashin is punishing and mind-numbingly difficult. Known to history as the reason for the loss of the Kingdom of Jerusalem, Renald was an unredeemable marauder who tortured bishops for profit, slaughtered peasants for booty, and married wealthy widows to secure his political position as Lord of Antioch. In addition to his ridiculously difficult starting position, Renald possesses 4 of the 7 deadly sins, and is handicapped with 0 diplomacy befitting someone of his character. Quite possibly the epitome of an historical Crusader king. If you decide to stay independent without swearing fealty to the larger kingdoms around you, you will more than likely meet the same fate as Renald did historically, by being beheaded by Saladin, or by being holy warred and jihaded into oblivion within months of the game's start. Iron Man players who are up for a serious challenge can also obtain the Deus Vult achievement by forming the Empire of the Haute-Mer. Overall, if you're interested in playing morally ambiguous and chaotic evil capitalist crusaders, you really can't go wrong with Monsieur Chatillon. Moving mountains with his monstrous chin is the very first Habsburg, Count Werner of Basel at number 7 on our list. A scourge upon the kingdoms of the late Middle Ages and familiar to EU4 players worldwide, the quintessential Qin dynasty begins their story in the Alps of modern-day Switzerland in the 1066 starting date. As a count of the Holy Roman Empire and with barely a castle to your name, can you spread your dynasty around Europe like dysentery, and sire inbred bastards to secure the throne of Spain and beyond? Although the Habsburg seat is strong, your starting position certainly isn't, and requires serious planning and classic Catholic birth control to turn your wife into a baby factory, so you can marry your family into positions of power. If you enjoy historical campaigns and tire from conquest by sword, a traditional Habsburg campaign that focuses on expansion through marriage is a refreshing change of pace that seriously challenges your dynastic micromanagement. Can you recreate history and bury Europe under the loins of your offspring? Or will you succumb to smallpox while your children die of scurvy in Lake Geneva? Take that, von Carlings. Being a woman in 1066 AD isn't easy, but when you have almost the entirety of north-central Italy and the Pope under your thumb, it makes it far more manageable. Taking her deserved role as the 6th most interesting character in CK2, Duchess Matilda of Tuscany is a powerhouse and absolute unit, both in game and in history. In real life, she forced the Holy Roman Emperor to proclaim her Queen of Italy, and laughed with the Pope inside her castle as he wallowed outside in the snow for 3 days, the very definition of excommunication. A fun and challenging tactic as Matilda is to declare independence from the Emperor in an effort to establish one of the most ridiculously difficult bloodlines to obtain in the entire game. If you can somehow become independent and be crowned Queen of Italy, avoid all 7 of the deadly sins, remain celibate and without children, and obtain 1000 piety, you can get the blood of Matilda, which allows you to force your heirs to take the vows. As if this wasn't already hard enough, popping out a baby before your oven overheats at the age of 40 and managing a matrilineal marriage to preserve the maternal bloodline is a challenge in and of itself. And since the bloodline only passes down matrilineally, keeping it in your family requires you to sire only daughters, and enact laws that provide rights to women and your female offspring, while disposing of any sons that might pop out along the way. Matilda is the very definition of a Crusader queen, and she's an absolute blast to play. If the idea of being a pious and devout duchess isn't really your jam, the legendary Viking Conqueror Ragnar Lodbrok at number 5 on our list is about as far removed from Christ and papal authority as humanly possible. Starting off as a 4-year-old child, the King of Sweden in the 769 starting date, Ragnar is unique in that he can conquer and pillage the world of booty as soon as he turns 16 and gets his longboat license. His father, and the character you play before him, is more than capable of reforming the Norse religion by having easy access to 3 of the needed holy sites, including one already within his kingdom at the game's start. By the time Ragnar is of age and after you've reformed the faith, you can assign your father as a commander and put him onto a complimentary boat ride to the middle of the ocean. After his gums inevitably fall out and he dies of scurvy, your succession is guaranteed, hailing the start of the Viking Age and your ascension to the Swedish throne. While playing as Ragnar, you can obtain his unique bloodline if he survives to 818 AD, which provides all of your future sons and daughters a massive +8 combat skill and the ability to easily gain Viking and Sea King traits by raiding provinces for loot. Ragnar is more than capable of uniting Scandinavia and finishing his father's legacy, and afterwards your targets are truly limitless. You can decide to prepare an invasion and take over the British Islands, conquer continental Europe, or even sail through Russia to pillage the gates of Constantinople. If you like to play your games on Iron Man, a Ragnar campaign is in an excellent position to obtain the New Ways for Old Gods achievement, as reforming the Germanic faith is ridiculously easy as his father. You can also obtain the Not a Tribe achievement by adopting feudalism, to finally rid yourself of horrendous Gavelkin succession laws after you reform the faith and own a feudal holding. Being a bastard's never easy, but it sure is rewarding with Guillaume de Normandie at number 4 on our list of most interesting characters. Starting off the game as a duke in northern France and with 11,000 men at his disposal, William is at war with England at the game's start in 1066. With his coffers full and his armies augmented by mercenary might, you should make haste, Ings, and carpet siege southern England, while the Anglo-Saxons are getting invaded on their northern front by the Norwegians. With the Anglo-Saxons getting double-teamed by Norwegians and your Normans in multiple orifices, and with the fall of their capital under your army all but guaranteed, securing the throne for yourself is easy within a year or two of your campaign start, and a great way to play Crusader Kings in a historically accurate way. After taking the crown for yourself, you can unlock his unique bloodline, which provides +5 to relations with Norman and English cultures, a +5 to relations with all bastards, and also makes legitimizing bastards free. And if you're playing on Iron Man mode, you'll also unlock the On English Neck a Norman Yoke achievement, while being in a fantastic position to also obtain the Unite the Kingdoms achievement by furthering your conquest towards Scotland and Ireland. As an extra side of flavor, if you're able to convert the culture of your Anglo-Saxon holdings to Norman, they will automatically switch to the unlockable culture of English later on. Just be sure your tea is steeped and ready for this historic event. If you're the type of player who values flexibility and can never make up their mind on who to play, Count Haesteinn of Retz at number 3 on our list of interesting starting dates is sure to appeal to you. Appearing as an independent, Germanic-faithed, Norse-cultured, and most importantly feudal leader in the 867 starting date, Haesteinn offers players by far the most amounts of options right from the get-go. This is because he can use the prepared invasions mechanic to spawn over 10,000 troops and ships to ferry them for absolutely free within 2 years of the campaign's start. Using this rigged and arguably overpowered feature, Count Haesteinn can conquer and make waste of any kingdom or empire he has designs on. You can, for example, trigger a prepared invasion on the Islamic Caliphates, spawn thousands of soldiers for free, load them on ships, and conquer the Holy Land in a matter of minutes. Once settled, you can even swap your culture and religion via decision or by educating your heirs, allowing you to form Jewish Israel or the Catholic Kingdom of Jerusalem in arguably the easiest way possible. To demonstrate his immense potential, Reddit user PowerMac8500 used him to carve out an independent kingdom of Brittany, the Norse kingdom of Nubia, the kingdom of Persia, the Caliphate of the Shia Ummah, and even the Empire of the Latin Kingdom, all within a single lifetime. You can expand in any direction and become anything you want with this character, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone somewhere has carved out a Germanic India as Lord Haesteinn. If pillaging by sea isn't to your liking and you prefer to raid the rivers for booty, be it for gold or for concubines, Dyre the Viking Duke of Konungarder at number 2 on our list is sure to appeal to you. Hailing from the darkest depths of unknown history, Dyre is a Viking who founded the independent realm of Konungarder, a Norse state situated in and around Kiev. Playable from the 867 starting date, this Duke is notable as he starts the campaign with the Genius trait and with the vast lands of Russia and the eastern steppes open for conquest. A wise strategy would be to secure a port as fast as possible, which will allow you to actually use your event ships that spawn in the Black Sea to raid, but other options are available to Dyre as well. Maintaining your unreformed Norse religion so far away from Scandinavia and the Germanic holy sites is a challenge, but converting to Slavic to have easy access to reform it with the holy sites on your doorstep is certainly a possibility. In my run, I dueled and killed my second son after he slept with my wife, and died of wounds, which left the kingdom in the hands of my incapable heir who I predict might have been my son's bastard child. Using the rivers around Ruthenia to sail your longboats around is quite fun, and I strongly recommend giving this stranger a playthrough if you're fond of forging your own alternative histories. A long time ago, in a kingdom close by, the badass pagan chiefess Dobrava of Kiev rightfully takes her place as the most interesting character in all of Crusader Kings 2. Now, before all the naysayers in the comment section crucify me for choosing yet another Kievan Rus start date back to back, let me defend myself first. Dobrava in the 769 starting date is an absolute machine. Fresh off the block at 19 years old as an unreformed Slavic pagan with access to all Slav squat sites in the neighborhood. What truly makes her stand out though is that she can marry the most overpowered courtier in all of the game, Zinnia, who is a strong and attractive genius that will take a matrilineal marriage. With the ability to pump out and sire superhuman genetically altered Slavs from her womb, Dobrava can easily build a lineage so radioactively overpowered that you'll have to maintain your distance from Chernobyl. And, since reforming the Slavic faith is easy as her, You can proclaim Enadic clans to strip all men of their power, and finally abolish the patriarchy, literally 1200 years before the advent of feminism. In my campaign, I opted to establish the matriarchy, enslaving all men in the process and ensuring that all of my vassals and counselors were women. This had the somewhat comical consequence of producing a larger than average amount of lesbian daughters as my heirs, complicating succession since men cannot inherit. In order to truly silence the mansplainers of the Middle Ages though, I opted to culture shift to Greek with my third queen, so that I could castrate all of my courtiers and prisoners, including the Basilius of Constantinople himself. I am tempted to upload this campaign in an abbreviated form for the channel, so if you're interested in seeing the rise of the feminarchy, drop a comment in the box below and let me know what you think. Regardless, I implore you to check out Dobrava and live out your Slavic fantasies while jamming out to Pussy Riot in true Russian fashion. We've reached the end of the video, and I'd like to thank everyone for watching. A special shout out goes to my patrons on Patreon that support the channel and allow me to produce content on a regular basis. What videos would you like to see in the future? Let me know in the comment box below. If you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate a like or a comment, as these will really help the channel grow. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.